Have you ever sat by the window with a cup of tea in your hand, watching the world go by, and suddenly felt that deep, quiet ache, the kind that doesn't hurt your body but settles somewhere deep in your chest? Maybe you thought to yourself, I'm surrounded by silence more than smiles these days. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Life after 60 can feel surprisingly quiet. Children grow up, the phone rings less often, friends move away or pass on, and the once busy routine slows down to long stretches of empty time. And in that stillness, loneliness can creep in, not always loudly, but often enough to make the days feel a bit heavier and the nights a little longer. But here's something I want you to know right from the start: loneliness doesn't have to be the final chapter of your story. In fact, this chapter can be one of rediscovery, of reconnecting, with yourself, with your surroundings, and yes, even with joy. You haven't run out of reasons to smile. Sometimes you just need a little help remembering where to find them. That's what we're going to do together today. I want to share 5 simple, powerful rituals you can build into your daily life, little things that don't take much time but have a big impact. These aren't just ideas, they're things you can start doing today, right now, to bring warmth, meaning, and energy back into your life. Let's start with the first one, and it's one that may surprise you with just how powerful it really is: creating a morning gratitude ritual. Now, I know gratitude is a word that gets thrown around a lot. Sometimes it sounds a bit cliché, doesn't it? But let me tell you this, when practiced the right way, gratitude becomes more than just being thankful. It becomes a lifeline. A shift in perspective. A way to rewire the brain to notice joy where you didn't see it before. Here's how you can make it work. The moment you wake up, before the news, before the texts, before you check the weather, just sit quietly with a notebook or a simple sheet of paper and write down 3 things you're thankful for. Not big, dramatic things. Maybe it's the way the morning sun came through your curtains. Maybe your knees didn't hurt as much when you got out of bed. Maybe your neighbor smiled at you yesterday. Start small. The magic is in the details. The act of writing it down is important. It slows your mind, brings your focus inward, and trains you to scan your day for things that went right. Over time, this rewiring helps you feel lighter. And guess what? The more you look for good things, the more you'll find them. That's not wishful thinking, it's neuroscience. Now, once your day has started on a note of gratitude, let's build on that momentum. The second ritual is just as simple and just as powerful: get outside and move your body for at least 15 minutes. Every day. No exceptions. I know not everyone has the same level of mobility. Some of us walk briskly, others need a cane, and some may rely on a scooter. But movement isn't about how far or how fast you go, it's about waking up your body and reminding it that it's alive. Fresh air, sunlight on your skin, the sound of birds, the feel of a breeze, these are medicine, plain and simple. Go to the park. Sit on a bench. Walk around your garden. Even just pacing your porch while listening to your favorite music or podcast can do wonders. If you live in an apartment, try walking the hallways or doing gentle stretches near an open window. The key is consistency. Moving your body daily triggers feel-good chemicals like endorphins and serotonin, which help reduce feelings of sadness and improve your mood almost instantly. And there's something else. When you step outside, you open yourself up to unexpected connection. A wave from a neighbor. A smile from a passerby. A brief chat at the mailbox. These little moments might not seem like much, but they chip away at that wall of loneliness, bit by bit. You never know when a small hello will turn into a friendship. Now, once you've filled your lungs with fresh air and gotten your blood moving, the next natural step is to give your mind something meaningful to hold on to. That brings us to our third daily ritual: connecting with your purpose. Now, purpose doesn't have to be a big, life-changing mission. You don't have to go back to work or start a charity. Purpose can be as simple as having a reason to get up and do something that matters to you, even if it only matters to you. That could mean tending to your plants, writing in a journal, learning a new recipe, helping a neighbor, or calling a friend who lives alone. Think of one thing every day you can do that gives you a sense of meaning. Something that reminds you, I matter. My actions matter. That little flicker of purpose can light up your entire day. And if you're unsure where to begin, start by asking yourself, what's something small I enjoy doing that I haven't done in a while? Or, who is someone I can help in a small way today? Purpose doesn't come from grand gestures, it grows from small moments of intention. The joy of knowing that you still have something to give, to create, to share, that joy is priceless. You see, when you build a morning filled with gratitude, movement, and purpose, you start to replace loneliness with energy, with curiosity, with connection to the world around you. It doesn't mean you'll never feel alone again, but it does mean you'll start feeling alive again. And that, my friend, is where joy begins to grow. Now, let's keep that momentum going. We've got more daily rituals that can bring light into even the quietest days. When you've spent a bit of time outdoors, moving your body and reconnecting with your sense of purpose, something interesting happens. You start to feel more open, more ready to engage. And that leads us beautifully into the next ritual, which is all about emotional nourishment, meaningful conversation, every single day. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But I don't have many people to talk to anymore. That's okay. It doesn't have to be a long phone call or a heart-to-heart over tea, though those are wonderful when they happen. What matters is simply making an intentional effort to speak with someone, even for a few minutes, and letting that connection feed your spirit. That could be a quick chat with the cashier at the grocery store, a call to your grandchild, a neighbor you wave to while checking your mail, or even someone you meet in an online group or forum. It doesn't have to be deep or heavy. In fact, sometimes the smallest conversations are the ones that leave the biggest mark. When you initiate conversation, even something as simple as, "How's your day going?" you're signaling to the world, and to yourself, that you're still a part of it. You're not on the outside looking in. You're participating. And the beauty of it is, most people are more open to connection than we assume. You'd be surprised how many people, even strangers, are also craving a little warmth and human contact. Don't underestimate the power of just showing up for a short exchange. Over time, these moments begin to stack up. That neighbor you always wave to? Maybe one day you'll end up sharing a story or a laugh. That person from the book club you joined online? They might become someone you look forward to hearing from every week. It all starts with a hello. And if you truly feel like there's no one in your immediate life right now, technology can be a beautiful bridge. There are countless online communities specifically for seniors, groups focused on everything from gardening to poetry to lifelong learning. You don't need to be tech savvy to participate. Most platforms make it pretty easy once you get started. And many local libraries or community centers offer help getting online if you need a hand. The point is, loneliness feeds on silence. But connection, even in small doses, feeds your spirit. Make it a daily ritual, like brushing your teeth or drinking your morning coffee. Choose someone to reach out to, or even write a message to someone new. Let your voice be heard, because it still matters. And speaking of voices, the next ritual I want to share with you is one that might sound unusual at first, but it's a true game changer. It's what I like to call the mirror moment. It's all about reconnecting with yourself, not your role as a parent, or a spouse, or a neighbor, but you, the person inside. The one who's still growing, still evolving, still worthy of being seen and celebrated. Every day, I want you to stand in front of a mirror, just for a minute or two, and look yourself in the eyes. Not to check your hair or to critique your wrinkles. No. I mean, really look. And I want you to say something kind to yourself. Out loud. It might feel a little silly at first, but stay with me. You could say, "You did your best today, and I'm proud of you." Or, "You are stronger than you think." Or even just, "I love you." Say it like you mean it, even if it's only a whisper. Because here's what happens, when we speak kindly to ourselves, especially in our own voice, our brain takes it in. It starts to believe it. And after a lifetime of giving to others, you deserve to be your own source of comfort too. This little ritual is about reclaiming your self-worth. About standing tall in the truth that your value hasn't diminished just because the world around you has gotten quieter. You're still here. You're still you. And you still deserve tenderness, starting with yourself. Over time, this daily practice becomes an anchor. On the hard days, it reminds you that you're not invisible. On the good days, it helps you appreciate your own resilience. And on every day in between, it creates a gentle pause where you reconnect with your own heart. So now we've built a day that starts with gratitude, movement, purpose, connection, and now self-love. And what's beautiful is that none of these rituals take hours. Most of them only require a few quiet moments, but those moments, repeated daily, become the building blocks of joy. Think of it like tending a garden. At first, it might just look like dirt and empty space. But a little water, a little sun, a little care every day, and suddenly, one morning, something blooms. That's how joy works, too. It doesn't usually come in a lightning bolt. It arrives in the slow, steady return to yourself. Through habits. Through intention. Through love. And if you've made it this far with me, I hope you're already starting to feel a little shift. A little hope. A little tug at your heart that says, maybe things can feel lighter again. And they can. They absolutely can. You're not too old to find joy. You're not too late. You're right on time. And I'm so glad you're still here, ready to bloom. There's something powerful that happens when you begin to show up for yourself every day. When you practice gratitude in the morning, move your body with care, reach out to others, and speak kindly to the face in the mirror, you begin to change the way you see the world. You also begin to change the way the world sees you. That's the beauty of these rituals. They don't just break through the silence of loneliness, they invite joy back in, one small act at a time. But we've still got one more daily ritual to talk about, and this one is the soft landing at the end of your day. I like to call it evening reflection and release, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a quiet moment, just before bed, where you sit with your thoughts, sort through the clutter of the day, and gently let go of anything heavy. You don't need anything fancy. Just a notebook, or even just a few quiet moments to yourself. Sit somewhere peaceful, maybe by your window, or in your favorite chair, and ask yourself, what did I enjoy today? What felt hard? And what am I ready to release? Maybe you had a conversation that left you feeling unsettled. Maybe you didn't get everything done that you hoped to. Maybe old memories came back and made your heart ache a little. That's okay. You're human. What matters most is that you acknowledge it instead of pushing it down. By allowing yourself to reflect honestly, you give your heart space to breathe. And when you choose to release the weight, whether that's guilt, sadness, or even just mental noise, you give yourself the gift of rest. Deep, nourishing rest. Not just for the body, but for the spirit too. Sometimes, I find it helpful to close the day with a sentence like, today, I did enough. Or, whatever I didn't finish today, I can try again tomorrow. These little affirmations wrap up the day with kindness instead of pressure. They remind you that you're not defined by how much you do, but by how fully you live. And here's something else I encourage you to do during this evening ritual: celebrate one small win from your day. Maybe you took your walk even though you didn't feel like it. Maybe you cooked something nourishing. Maybe you called someone and made them smile. Recognizing these little victories helps build your confidence, and that confidence becomes the fuel for tomorrow's joy. So now you have a day that begins with gratitude and ends with reflection. And in between, you've moved your body, connected with others, spoken kindly to yourself, and lived with purpose. That's not just a routine, it's a transformation. It's a map back to yourself. I want you to know, these rituals aren't about pretending everything is perfect. They're not about forcing yourself to feel happy all the time. They're about creating space in your life for joy to return, on its own terms, in its own time. Some days will still be quiet. Some nights will still feel lonely. But now, you'll have tools. You'll have habits that carry you through. You'll have a rhythm. And most importantly, you'll have hope. Real hope. The kind that says, I'm still here. I still matter. And there's still more joy waiting for me. Because here's the truth, loneliness isn't a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a reminder that you're still wired for connection. That you still want to feel seen, heard, and loved. That's not weakness. That's humanity. And by choosing to show up for yourself every day, even in small ways, you're meeting that need head on. You're saying, I'm not giving up on myself. And you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. Because the world still needs you. Your wisdom. Your stories. Your humor. Your kindness. Whether you're 60, 70, or 90, your presence is a gift to others, yes, but especially to yourself. So, if this message resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us, what's one ritual you'd like to start doing today? Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own. And if this video brought a little light to your day, please take a moment to like it. That small action helps this message reach more people who might need it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We've got so much more to share, practical advice, uplifting stories, and tools to help you live your best life at every stage. Because this isn't the end of your story. This is a new chapter. One filled with purpose, peace, and joy. So here's to you, your courage, your heart, your journey. You've made it this far. And you're still growing. Still glowing. Still blooming. And that, my friend, is something truly beautiful.